before we bring on the bigwigs, let's quickly take another intervention from United Action Front. I have Segun Sowunmi for 5 minutes to intervene on the two issues. Comrade Segun Sowunmi speaks for the Atiku Abubakar side of the divide. Are you there, Comrade Segun Sowunmi? Are you ready to intervene?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yes,
good evening,
please.
and thank you very much for this intervention. What I would want to say quickly is that if we're not very, very careful, we're going to find ourselves in a long-drawn civilian dictatorship from the look of things. And it comes on the tail of what the last speaker just said. It doesn't matter any explanation labor operatives and labor movements give. It was quite frustrating and a bit uncharitable that they backed down too quickly. Why? Everybody gets the subsidy removal argument. But what I don't get is that you are going to come and tell us that over a period of many years, some private sector players, your friends, have milked and robbed us and walked us into a debt, and you're going to pass the burden of that, their irresponsibility to the citizen without showing us, one, a commensurate set of activities that will be palliative before you removed it, or even more importantly, before showing us that you have the determination to ensure that those who have robbed the country blind suffer some consequences by way of trials and what have you. That's not how to run a nation. And if Labour finds it so easy to be, made to back down before they even start, it can only give you an idea of what we have coming up before us. The second intervention I want to make is also that we must understand that democracy as we now know it in our country, and all of the things that may eventually get thrown up as a result of the cases in court, has told us in clear language that those who are taking over the realms of our affairs via democratic manipulations are very skilled at ensuring that their manipulations can also get the coloration of tribal and ethnic and religious, either validation or what have you. It means that we must go back to our trenches. We must plan well. We must be very realistic. We must know that it will take a coalition to throw them out when another round of opportunity comes. That is if they don't get thrown out before by the tribunal. And then we must ensure that we're not just opposing for opposing's sake. We must constantly tell them precisely what we think needs to be happening. If we don't have comprehensive judicial reform, how can democracy work here? All they need to do is steal, and then we're shoved the argument, go to court, and nothing will happen. If they don't have police reform, here, the type of police reform that makes you understand that the police does not respect even the people that are paying their salaries. That means even if a high-ranking person in society does something wrong, the police on their own have the gravitas and the will to be able to do right by all. We have not started. If you do not find out, if we do not insist that the media cannot be cowed, it is still a matter of great embarrassment that the Nigerian society did not punish the present winners by disdaining media, by refusing to go for interview, and by even making themselves almost as it were bigger than everybody. And it therefore means that civil society, our work is not done in advocating and getting the mass of our people, especially the lower run of the ladder, to understand that the promise of democracy is the only thing that separates them from being taken for a ride forever. And it's okay if they take you for a ride, you may have the patience. What about if by they're taking you for a ride, they are passing the baton of leadership to their children, which invariably means they're taking your children and your next set of children for a ride. It's not going to work. And I think that the earlier we understand that over and above the talk shop, we must figure out a standing committee that really works on strategy and goes to every length available to ensure that we're going to say, no, this type of thing will never happen again. Otherwise, we'll endure to 2027. Some of us will put ourselves up again, and some criminal elements in our society will do brigandage and what have you, and we'll be here again after I was speaking the same type of English that can become sometimes frustrating. And finally, I want to commend His Excellency Peter Obi. Without a doubt, you are truly the alter ego of what the people want in leadership now. You have done more than one would have expected of you. And I know that you have the tenacity and the ability to stay on this lane for as long as is required. All I will add is we must go back to the strategy board and go and review it so that the numbers don't start decreasing, but we can then make sure that it can increase, because if it must be, it is really up to us. Thank you very much. That's what I really thought I wanted. And happy Democracy Day and happy June 12th. It's so sad that June 12th now looks like this 30 years after. If we knew this was what they were going to do with the civilian democracy, we might have left it in the hands of military dictators, because at least they are a little bit more reasonable when it comes to the usage of power. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Segun Sowunmi, all the way from Abeokuta, Ogun State.